Hello, my name is Kate Culver, and this is my final project website. It is called Hugo Helper, a guide to degenerative myelopathy and living with your DM dog. I'm not great with names, but when we were first diagnosed with Hugo's condition, there were so few websites out there available to help us that I thought that for this project, I would create something that I needed back then, something to help me help Hugo. So here we have Hugo Helper. Let's get started with the home page, our index. All right, we have our nav bar here. First our header with my beautiful puppy, and our nav bar that is responsive. It changes color as you highlight over it. It also shows the underlined decoration, and as we get into the content, it tells you about Hugo and when he was diagnosed. It shows you in my table here which breeds are also affected, not just boxers, which Hugo is a boxer. Here we are defining the nature of DM, and here we're going into the symptoms. As you can see, we have a bit of a blog of my experience, and we also have a list, which I used, let's see, an ordered list, but I removed the decoration and adjusted the margin and the padding in order to make it a little bit more visible. All of this has been used with w3.css as a framework, and so certain things had to be adjusted in order to cover all of the pages. You come down here, there's my back to the top button, and I'll click that in a moment, but we also have my foray into JavaScript with our manual slideshow. Now, I chose a manual slideshow rather than a automatic one because there's someone near and dear to me who suffers a bit from seizure issues, and so I didn't feel comfortable having my page have something flashing automatically in their peripheral vision as they're scrolling down. They were one of my surveyors, reviewers, so I tried to make it so that it would be comfortable for them to use as well. You can advance the slideshow by clicking these buttons on the right and left, and you can see Hugo and his friends and his various stages of his condition. This is also one of our friends, Border Collies, who was using an accessibility cart as well so she could get around for her daily walks. I'm going to click my back to top button and move on to the next page for accessibility options. Alright, as you can see, this top section here has no width constrictions. Further on down we have 1/3 and 2/3. Each of the descriptions has an ahref link URL that changes color in order to notify you that you are clicking on it, that it is a clickable item. So if you click on it, it takes you to a separate page with the target element being blank, and it shows you other websites. You can return back to your website, scroll down, this URL. All the URLs should be correctly working, functional, and opening in a separate window so that you don't lose your place. We go to, they're still in my footer. We have the manual slideshow because I was excited to show everyone my puppy wherever they were on the page. Back to the top, we are going to caretaking aids. As Hugo's disease progressed, we kept trying to find solutions. And some of those solutions, I thought, I wonder if anybody's ever thought of this or is using this. And so this page is beginning not comprehensive because there's so many things I'd like to add outside of the scope of this project. But the things that we use that might help other people with their puppy as they are dealing with their caretaking needs. So again, on this, I also use a list element, but instead of an ordered or unordered list, I use something called a described list that uses DL tags, DT tags, and DD tags. And this way that you can have your item, and then the description comes underneath it. So it's described whatever this is. And since these are URLs, I went ahead and they have all of the Ahref coding in my main area. So they've changed colors and have the kind of button-like format. So if I click on this, it will bring me to a new page with options. I'm not encouraging people to use these particular websites or buy these particular things. I was in no way affiliated. I don't have any sponsorship hookups that I get cut back or anything when they click on it. I have nowhere near that advanced. But this was just, I needed a link and a photo to bring with this project so that people could see what items I was talking about, like our shop cloths here, which were so useful. Come back to my page. We talk about the general items that were useful. We talk about things that helped with your pet's incontinence issues, because through various diseases, not just degenerative myelopathy, you have incontinence issues, elderly dogs, puppies, all kinds of pets have sometimes issues with their bladder support. So these are items that we use to help maintain a clean household and a clean dog. And here in this area with this sad little puppy is a description of processes of how to manage the bladder and bowel issues on more of a your schedule than a their schedule, because that is an issue when you have a disabled pet. So again, we're scrolling down out of the main area into the footer. We're going back to the top, and we're moving on to the next page, which is physical therapy. Here in this item, we have a continuation of alternating left and right, 1/3, 2/3, 2/3, 1/3, 1/3, 2/3, describing different treatment options and physical therapy options that we employed. At the top, we used the ones that we felt were most valuable, and down below were some of the more experimental ones. Again, we go back up to the top, we look at our organizations. Here again, just like our previous caretaking aid to page, we have the descriptive lists, and they describe the organizations that might be helpful for someone who doesn't know where to start. So we have support groups, communities, research that is being done, sponsorship, for financial assistance options that they can apply for, and wheelchair donation programs. All of these have options where you can purchase or donate wheelchairs from them or to them, because once you have a cart and unfortunately you no longer have your puppy with you, how can you give it to someone else to help another family? And so these were options that you might be interested in pursuing. Some of these are more breed specific, because corgis are much smaller than boxers, and so there's a specific website for small dogs. And go back to the top, and finally my last page, and we have our form element here on our Contact Us page. Each of these is dynamic with my w3.css framework, and you can type in your name and required elements, and it looks for your emails, and you can type in your topic, your message here. I wanted to include a checkbox for a EULA, excuse me, to let everyone know that if you are going to post something in here, that this is not an active form, but when it becomes an active form, that to please be kind, and or I will ignore you, because again, abusive language will not be tolerated. This is a very sensitive subject for people and their pets, and I have had to deal with some people who felt that I should have said my goodbyes much sooner than we did. And honestly, I don't need to read that as part, if that is the message they wish to impart. This is more to help families, whatever stage they're in, with dealing with the management of the disease as best they can. So this is my page. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for viewing. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.